Yo, what's up guys? It's Yellowfin and it is time for me to do my 10 most wanted cars from the new update. So first, as you saw in the previous video, if you watched it, my reaction to the new update, I had one super rare. But now I have two cars, one of which is a uncommon. So just to get this out of the way first, even though these probably wouldn't have been in my top 10 anyway, the Ford FTETS50, and I also got the Holden Torana GTS 350. This was from the Add Aluminum pack. So I was just doing it to get my cash up, so accidentally pulled it. But it is time to get into my 10 most wanted cars. These two probably wouldn't have been on the list anyway, but I did pull them. And starting off at number 10 is a Ford. It is the Ford FPV, where is it? Right there, the FPV F6 Typhoon. Main reason I want this is because I made a custom card for it. If you saw in the previous custom card video, if you watched it, if not, go check it out. It's a pretty cool video. It's got a lot of Australian cars, a lot of which got added, but a lot of other cars too that could have been added in this new update. Saloon, low ground clearance, which is pretty interesting. It has low. I made the card with it being medium ground clearance, but I didn't really look up actually how high it was. I just kind of assumed. So it might be low for all I know, but the Ford FPV F6 Typhoon, it does look like it has pretty good stats too. 5.481 that will max out with 90 handling, which is pretty good for a super rare. So that's the main reason I want it, is it just looks like a pretty good super rare maxed out. In 9th place will be another Ford FPV, another super rare. This is just the better one, the Ford FPV F6 R-Spec Typhoon. It's just slightly better. It's got one extra handling and 3 extra top speed, so low ground clearance as well, but pretty much the same exact reasons. It just looks like a really good super rare. It also has a really nice picture. Both of them have really good looking pictures, and it's just a pretty cool looking car too, which is mainly why I want it. And it just looks like a good super rare to have maxed out, which is why I would hopefully like to get it. In the 8th spot now, we are leaving Ford and we are going to Holden, and that is going to be this, the Holden Commodore SSV Redline. 5.182, that means it'll max out at 91. 0 to 60 though, doesn't look like it'll be that fast. 5.1. If we go check, actually, because I do want to check this, how much MRA are we going to guess this guy will have? 5.182. Okay, maybe actually it does seem to be a bit similar to a lot of other cars in its area. The Pantera, except the Pantera is from the 80s. So never mind, actually. I'm not sure how much MRA it'll have. Maybe in the 80s. I'd say probably 80 MRA. Seems like a pretty good guess. Maybe high 70s. High 70s, low 80s would probably be my guess for the MRA. I thought it was probably just really slow to 60, but honestly, looking at what's near it, for it having 82 handling compared to like the Quattroporte, it's too better handling for a bit of 0 to 60 that's sacrificed. So honestly, it doesn't look too bad. I really just like the picture, which is why I want it. It's just a really nice looking car, and that picture is a very nice one. Looks pretty much like a custom card picture. Like, that's a very nice photo choice. In spot number 7, you guys probably know this from the previous video on why I want this car so bad. It is the orange it's a Charger, so I assume Dodge, but nope, it's a Chrysler Valiant Charger RT 6-pack. It's just cool looking. That's the thing. I want to know what its MRA is. It's a really nice photo. It's a great looking car. Stats are pretty interesting, which is also why I kind of like it. 6.50 to 60 is kind of slow for a dragster, but that's why I want to know the MRA. But 68 handling is pretty good for an American, or not American, but similar type of niche dragster. It's basically an American dragster, but it's from Australia. So it's got pretty solid handling then for that type of niche. 68 handling honestly isn't that bad, and the picture's just great, which is why I like it over the other two. So I definitely want to pull this Chrysler Valiant. That was in spot number 7. Now spot number 6, we're going to be heading back over to Ford. This time though, it's a Ute, because I do have quite a bit of bias to Utes, but honestly, a lot more saloons are in this list than Utes. Actually there is a pretty good amount of Utes, so. But this is one of them, the RQ48 Ford FPV Pursuit. It's similar to, not really similar stats wise, but similar type looking to the Ford FPV's F6s. But the Pursuit, it's a Ute, and it's got medium ground clearance, which is also pretty interesting. It's not really much of a difference like game changer stats wise. This is just a really good medium ground clearance Ford. But honestly, it's just a really cool looking car. The photo's really nice. It's got the wheels in the back, and it's great looking photo. It's a truck, so I've got the truck bias. I do really like trucks. or utes, pickups, whatever you call it. I call it a truck. So it is a pretty nice looking vehicle, to say the least. 5th place now is RQ31, and we are going over to Holden, I believe. It is the, where is it? Right there. Holden Torana SLR 5000 A9X. I didn't even know this car existed until this update, but it is a really nice looking car in my opinion. It's got the wide body kit on it, it's got the fat hood scoop on it, it's got the spoiler, it's got the 70s muscle car sort of look. I just really want it. It's just perfect. It's got medium ground clearance, 7.1 0 to 60, 73 handling. It's got some good all-around stats. I don't know what the MRA is, but really that's just why I want it. It's just cool looking. It's just honestly just a really cool looking car with a really cool looking picture. And that's the thing. I judged a lot of these cars by why I wanted them from their picture. A lot of others are just I really like the car, but this one I just really like the picture, and I really also like the way the car looks, which is why it's in 5th place. Number 4, we are going to be staying in Holden. Yeah, we don't stay in Holden for the rest of the video, though. There are other cars. But number 4 is the Holden HSV Malu GTS. Main reason I want this car the most is because it's one of the best cars from the new update that's non-prize. This is the other one, the HSV GTS, but truck bias. I gotta pick the HSV Malu. It's a ute. It's just cool looking. It's better looking, in my opinion, than the HSV GTS, even though they accidentally marked it down as an estate, but as you can clearly see, it's not an estate. 180 top speed, 4.1 seconds 0 to 60, 84 handling, medium ground clearance, so pretty decent stats, not amazing, but not horrible, and it's just a great looking car. So that's number 4. Number 3, we're scrolling back down in Holden, which is to the Big Wang Gang Holden HSV Malu. Really the reason I have it on this list, it's a truck with a giant spoiler on it. I love this car for some reason because it's got the giant spoiler on it. There's one car I always see around town here that's like some Dodge truck, and it's got a giant spoiler just like this. So I really want the Holden HSV Malu then because of this giant spoiler that it's got on the back of it. If it didn't have the giant spoiler, probably wouldn't even be on this list, but it got number 3 place just because of that giant spoiler it has on it. It's pretty much a Dodge Charger Daytona wing on it. So definitely want to pull that car then. In 2nd place, took me a minute to think of what that was because I just wrote down FPV blue, and that is this, the Ford FPV F6 in blue. 4.5, 83, that means it's going to hit 92 handling. I talked about it a bit before in the previous video. Similar to the Mustang, this maxes out at 4.0, 92, which means this will probably hit 3.8, 92. 3.8, 92 is some pretty solid stats for a low ground clearance car. 1,800 kilos, which is pretty heavy, but honestly, it's just also a really cool looking car, and it's a Ford, so definitely get some bonus points for me, which is why I want it. And in 1st place for my most wanted car in this update, one of the first cars I saw, and being more realistic, instead of picking the Falcon XR6 Sprint, which didn't even appear on the list actually, I picked the XR8 Sprint. 4.4 seconds 0 to 60, 79 handling, medium ground clearance, maxes out at 87, nope, actually 88 if you 2 through 3 at 88, and 4.4 max out to, 3.6? Yeah, 3.6, 88, medium ground clearance. Cool looking car in general, but 3.6, 88, some really nice stats. The photo's great, I like the look of the car, the stats are great, it's a Ford, 4 boxes checked pretty much, making this car my number 1 most wanted car in the new update. And hopefully, I'll be able to pull it. I don't remember, from the last update, it was the Zonda HP Barchetta, which I haven't pulled yet, obviously. I don't remember from any of the previous updates before that, but hopefully this one is a bit more obtainable than the HP Barchetta, so hopefully my chances of getting it are pretty good. And that'll be it for this video. As you can see in the top right, 494,458, 5,000 cash away from a 500k pack opening, which will be being uploaded tomorrow. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss out on that new update pack opening. Also, 2,000 subs equals a 2 million pack opening. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed yet. Also join the Discord, link in the description. I'm Yellowfin, thanks for watching, and goodbye.